Hi, I'm Daniel, founder of Pretty Litter. Did you know cats tend to hide symptoms of sickness and pain? I learned this the hard way after losing my cat, Gingy. So I created Pretty Litter, a health monitoring litter that helps detect early signs of illness by changing colors, saving you money and potentially your cat's life. Pretty Litter is veterinarian developed, and it's the easiest way to keep tabs on your fur baby's health right at home.
Go to prettylitter.com and use code ACAST for 20% off your first order and a free cat toy. Terms and conditions apply. See site for details.
On today's Smart 7, Ukraine anxiously awaits US arms shipments, protests rock streets of Georgia, and much more. It's Wednesday, 15th of May. It's International Family Day, and happy birthday, Andy Murray.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
Russian troops have continued to advance on the newest front in their war on Ukraine, claiming to have made further gains in the Kharkiv area on Tuesday. Ukrainian President Zelensky has replaced the frontline commander in the region, and the Ukrainians are rushing reinforcements to the new front to halt the advance. It comes as Ukraine waits for the promised US arms shipments, with Zelensky publicly calling for more air defences and Patriot missile batteries. To demonstrate America's support, the US Secretary of State was in Kyiv on Tuesday with assurances that the much-needed weapons and ammunition are on the way.
I have come to Ukraine with a message. You are not alone. The United States has been by your side from day one, and we will stay by your side until Ukraine's security, its ability to choose its own path, is guaranteed.
Video emerged of the Secretary of State playing guitar in a Kyiv bar later on Tuesday, performing Keep On Rockin' in the Free World. But with Ukraine under serious pressure, there's real concern that the promised supplies may be too late. Ukrainian MP Kira Rudik says it's not just America that needs to deliver on its promises either.
We need the deliveries to come shortly. So as of today, we need all the political promises that have been made to become the weapons in the hands of Ukrainian soldiers.
It seems that Vladimir Putin has an eye not just on Ukraine, but also on its Black Sea neighbour Georgia. There were dramatic scenes over the weekend, with protesters gathering in the streets in a bid to stop a piece of legislation that came before Parliament on Tuesday. The so-called foreign agent law is aimed at restricting NGOs and media organisations who have funding from overseas. It was voted through, but not before violent scenes in Parliament as the opposition and government deputies brawled on the floor. The bill is seen as an attempt to slow Georgia's entry to the European Union and hold it closer to Russia. Tina Bokuchava, who leads the United National Movement in the Georgian parliament, says it's a bad day for democracy.
It aims at targeting every single organization that receives funding from any foreign source, the objective of which is really to stigmatize all organizations that are actually working in the interest of Georgian citizens.
The US has warned Georgia not to side with Moscow against the West and asked the president to veto the bill. This protester on the streets outside Parliament was worried about the future.
When we're getting close to the Russian government, no one can save us after that. It will happen to us what happened to Ukraine after a while.
Monday saw PM Rishi Sunak warning of dark times ahead and promising that only the Tories and their newly improved defence budget could keep Britain safe. Then on Tuesday, Defence Secretary Grant Shapps was in the spotlight as he addressed the Sea Power Conference in London. He had good news for sailors everywhere with the announcement that the UK is to order up to 6 new warships for the Royal Marines to improve Britain's special operations capability in the future. He also promised to cancel the scrapping of HMS Albion and HMS Bulwark and hailed a new era for the UK's defence sector.
Very, very large shipbuilding programme, all possible because just last month we agreed as a government to spend 2.5% of our GDP on our defence sector because we think it's very, very important to make sure that those who would seek to do us harm are put off.
The media regulator Ofcom has launched a consultation on new guidelines for social media. They're intended to provide better protection for children and more accountability for social networks as part of the new online safety bill. However, it may turn out to be more complicated than expected to get social media to comply, with the Australian and Brazilian regulators both struggling to get Elon Musk's X to follow through on takedown requests for problematic content. Musk insists on free speech, which has seen all kinds of previously banned content flourish on the former Twitter platform. UK Technology Secretary Michelle Donnellan says it won't be as easy to ignore the UK's legislation.
We are the only country in the world to have such a comprehensive piece of legislation when it comes to online safety that really has the teeth to make these companies not only sit up and listen but also act.
Still to come on today's Smart 7, Man City inch closer to the title and Nicola Coughlan chats Ryan Gosling right after this.
Hi, I'm Daniel, founder of Pretty Litter. Did you know cats tend to hide symptoms of sickness and pain? I learned this the hard way after losing my cat, Gingy. So I created Pretty Litter, a health monitoring litter that helps detect early signs of illness by changing colors, saving you money and potentially your cat's life. Pretty Litter is veterinarian developed, and it's the easiest way to keep tabs on your fur baby's health right at home.
Go to prettylitter.com and use code ACAST for 20% off your first order and a free cat toy. Terms and conditions apply. See site for details.
Welcome back. We're counting down the days to the end of the Premier League season, which means a busy week as teams tidy up their calendars. Tuesday night saw a tense game as Spurs played host to Man City, with plenty at stake. Spurs needed to win to keep their chances of Champions League football alive, but if Man City lost, it gave Arsenal a shot at the Premier League title. In the end, City were just too good, winning with an Erling Haaland goal and a penalty to put them 2 points clear of Arsenal for the final day. Pep says his team will be ready for the pressure on Sunday.
The emotions are there. If you don't play for that big achievement, you play better. But it's normal. So you have to, that's why we talk about, okay, everyone himself has to relax and perform what you have to do.
This week is Bridgerton week on Netflix as part 1 of season 3 drops. The cast and crew headed to New York City for their red carpet premiere, which is quite some distance to travel if they were hoping to be historically accurate. This season sees Lady Penelope and Colin Bridgerton become romantically entangled, and stars Nicola Coughlan and Luke Newton have been denying the roles triggered a real-life romance. Nicola seemed much more excited about her role in Barbie when she popped up on Seth Meyers' show.
I auditioned for it and they were like, Greta Gerwig likes your tape, and I just fell on the ground. And then they were like, but you're filming Bridgerton, so you can't be in it. I was like, please, a little bit. So they let me pop in. But the day I went to set was the day Ryan Gosling had no top on. That is hard, and people don't give me enough sympathy for how hard that was to deal with.
Let's hope that we get a typical British summer this year with plenty of rain, because it's building up to be a pretty amazing season for TV. On Tuesday, 2 major trailers dropped, the first for the second season of The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, which reveals how Sauron came to be. The second trailer is for season 2 of The House of the Dragon, which sees our first real look at the Wolf of the North, Cregan Stark. He's played by Tom Taylor, and his character is set to be pivotal as the Targaryen civil war ramps up. House of the Dragon Season 2 hits Sky Atlantic on Monday 17th of June, and Dragoncast will be back with Chris Mandel and myself to track every twist and turn.
This senseless war must end.
Shall never prevail.
Not like this.
Alicent holds love for our enemy. That makes her a fool.
The enemy without may be fought with swords. The enemy within is more insidious.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the world.
Hi, I'm Daniel, founder of Pretty Litter. Did you know cats tend to hide symptoms of sickness and pain? I learned this the hard way after losing my cat, Gingy. So I created Pretty Litter, a health monitoring litter that helps detect early signs of illness by changing colors, saving you money and potentially your cat's life. Pretty Litter is veterinarian developed, and it's the easiest way to keep tabs on your fur baby's health right at home.
Go to prettylitter.com and use code ACAST for 20% off your first order and a free cat toy. Terms and conditions apply. See site for details.